Well, hello. Welcome back to Acadian Comics. I'm your host, James Fondren, and this is Comics Haul number 6. So yesterday was New Comics Day. It was May 8th, and I stopped by Midtown Comics. I also stopped by my local comic shop, Royal Collectibles. So I'll open up what I've got from Royal first, and then we'll go from there. So, this is from Boom Comics. This is Crocodile. Move this out of the way. It's like in the frame. Okay, there we go. This is Boom Comics, or Boom Studios rather. This is issue number 1 of Crocodile Black. They had a cool, other variant of it. It's kind of a virgin variant. So I'm gonna check this out. I know nothing about this comic, so it'll be interesting to see. So that is Crocodile Black. I had missed out on X-Men 97 issue number 2. There's like a Wolverine Sabretooth cover, and then there's this Jean Grey variant edition. So I had saw this in the store at Midtown Comics, and I completely missed it. So I'm gonna read that. I've been watching the show, and I think our season finale is coming up next week, episode 10 of X-Men 97. So good show. The comic art reflects the show. So that's number 2. I also wanted to get into like Jango Fett a little bit, because I remember when I was in high school, I played the game Bounty Hunter that was about Jango Fett. So I'll give this a chance. This is issue number 2 of this is issue number 1 rather of Jango Fett. I also have issue number 2, and I remember this character being promoted heavily, like when episode 1 came out. And there's actually there's you see this character during the pod race. She's like watching the pod race, so she's another bounty hunter. So the art looks pretty good. I mean, it's like Boba. It's a Boba Fett comic, but it's Jango Fett, So, I liked the Darth Maul comic. It was pretty good. I will get issue number 2 of that. So that's Jango Fett. I'll let you know what I think about it. So this is a comic by Zenescope. I think it's like a one-shot. Plum Island. It's a 48-page comic. It's sort of a horror fantasy comic. See, I gotta read this, and I know I've gotta read. I just posted my review of Beware the Planet of the Apes. I don't know why it's not Beware of the Planet of the Apes, but anyway, I'll let you know what I think of this. It's a horror comic. Interesting. Yep. So we'll see. That's Zenescope presents Horror and Fantasy Illustrated. So the company is Zenescope, independent comic. And I also picked up Spider-Man Shadow of the Green Goblin number 1 and number 2. So this looked pretty sweet. I saw this in Midtown Comics, but I got these 2 comics and everything I've showed you thus far at Royal Collectibles. So I'm gonna look at this. I'll read it. Everyone's into Ultimate right now, but I keep going to the side. Sorry. Everyone's into Ultimate right now, but definitely will check this out. Read it. I like the art. It's got a little grime to it. It's kind of got some old school. It's got an old school look to it a little bit. It's not as clean or as polished. It's a little rough. So, yeah, let's check that out. Alright, so that was from Royal Collectibles. Now let's look at what I got from Midtown Comics. Oh, and there's gonna be a bonus piece in here. I have another book I need to review as well. So we'll do that. But this is Geiger. Let me get this out of the frame. Here we go. So this is Geiger number 2. I read this already, and I read it yesterday. Again, I like the story. I like where they're going with it. I like this full page panel here. That looks good. I gotta be honest with you though. Issue number 2 of Geiger, this run of it it wasn't, there was nothing that was like really like crazy. Some backstory, some kind of filler stuff to give you some background. Um, but anyway, I will get issue number 3. So I do like Geiger, so I'll keep reading it. I got that version of the cover, and I got this version too. Same book. And I got Dynamite's Red Sonja Empire of the Damned number 2. I haven't read this yet. I read number 1. I liked it. So she had escaped a prison, and now she's kind of out in the wilds, you know. So, yep, gotta read it. Gotta read it. So that's Red Sonja Empire of the Damned, issue number 2. And I picked up Darth Vader 46. I picked up 45. So I figured, okay, I'll give it a chance. I'll read it. You know, it's the art's good. The story's not that hard to mess up. So it's Darth Vader. You know, we'll do a whole. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to dedicate like a whole playlist on my channel to before I put this away while I'm talking about Star Wars, just the Star Wars comics, because I have quite a few of them from the 90s when Dark Horse had the license for Star Wars. And then I remember distinctly when they lost the license after Disney bought Lucasfilm, and I bought a couple of trade paperbacks from some stories that I didn't even care about because I knew that they weren't going to be in the stores anymore and be sold like that. And that was at Barnes and Noble. I remember you could buy it at Barnes and Noble, but not no mo. So anyway, that's Star Wars Darth Vader 46. And then this is, you know, Transformers, Endragon Universe, 2024 special. It's like I think this is like a one shot, is it? Robert Kirkman. Look, oh, I see. So you got Transformers, Void, Rivals, and G.I. Joe. So there's 3 stories in here. Pretty cool. You got your Transformers. I guess this is the Kirkman story. Or it's all the same. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, it's a G.I. Joe here. Alright, so look cool. Picked it up. So I've read Blood Hunt issue number 1, and the way I haven't done a review of that yet, and I don't know if I really want to get too invested in Blood Hunt because they're gonna milk it for all it's worth. But if you haven't read Blood Hunt issue number 1, this is gonna be somewhat of a spoiler. So if you want to stop watching now, you can. But at the end of that issue number 1, Blade goes to Doctor Strange and, you know, attacks Doctor Strange. So this is kind of the follow-up to that of part 1. And you see Blade is at 177A Bleecker Street at Doctor Strange's headquarters, and it's like then things start to go down, you know, and it's not good. So it's an interesting art style they're doing here, Doctor Strange, and you know, they want Blade to look like Wesley Snipes, like he did in the 90s when, you know, Marvel really got their first huge success beyond X-Men in the films. So I'm going to check that out. And then Valiant put out, Alien Books put out the Valiant's issue number 1. So I'm going to check this out too. And the art looked pretty cool, looked pretty dynamic to me, and I like the page layouts. It's clean, polished. It kind of reminds me of some of the things we're seeing in the indie sphere. Like I just read Godlike. You know, it's a little different. It's like, oh, it's interesting. The art style changed. No, it's just the characters and the setting. But yeah, so I'm gonna read this. You know, looks pretty cool. The Valiants. Okay. So that's it. But let me get to the honorable mention here. Oh, and God, this was really stupid. I bought another issue of Ultimate Spider-Man number 4, and I forgot I had a copy of it. So that was kind of dumb. But see, it's kind of I still haven't read 3, and I just picked up 4, but it's heavy dialogue. Look, you got 9 panel pages in here. These are 18 panels here. It's all dialogue, dialogue heavy, story heavy. You know, it's huge. You know, it's I mean, it's a lot going on. And you know what I'm not seeing? This is issue number 4, and guess what I'm not seeing in here? Let's just flip through it real quick. Everyone loves this comic, but let's just flip through it real quick, okay? What you tell me what's going on? What do you not see in here? What are you not seeing? It's pretty clear to me. And that's why I'm kind of loath to read it. And I don't know if I'm going to get issue number 5, to be honest with you. I don't think so. What are you not seeing here? I'll tell you what you're not seeing. You're not seeing Spider-Man at all in the suit. He's not in the suit in the whole issue. Now, the first issue, he barely showed up, like at the end, and it was like he hadn't got a suit yet, but he's not even in the suit in this whole issue. So we have to read a whole issue without Spider-Man in the suit. I mean, that's kind of a downer to me. Total downer. Okay, last thing. I picked this up, and this is pretty cool. I was surprised to see this in Midtown Comics, but this is Billy Tucci's She #1 30th anniversary original art edition. So, you know, he was kind of the godfather of the Bad Girl Revolution in the 90s, and it's got a nice smell to it, the book. And this is his original art, you know, and it's all been digitized, and yeah, so I like the comic. I'd never read it before, believe it or not. See, 2-page spread there of She. I never read it, so you know, it goes more. You get the, you know, his black and whites, his inks. You can kind of see that. You can also see some of his like sketches. Look, there's your black and whites, and then your colors, which was done by I think watercolor and some pencil. You know, so what I'm looking forward to, and I haven't done yet, is I got to go to the back here, and I want to read this whole interview, how it happened. She Way of the Warrior #1 interview, where Billy Tucci, he answers the questions. He was in the military. He got out of the army, and graduated from FIT in Manhattan, Fashion Institute of Technology, in 1990. So, and then immediately after he got out of there, boom, he wanted to get into comics. So, yeah, I like this. I liked it. I read this. I read his. I read the first part of the book is the actual book. So it was, let's see. Yeah, it was a 34-page comic that Billy Tucci did. She #1. It's 34 pages. Okay. Well, actually, no, take that back. It's a standard 32-page comic. So, yeah, see, page 1, page 2, and then you start counting the page numbers here. So, you know, in terms of art, it was a 32-page comic, which is a standard size. You know, I'd be happy doing a 32-page comic myself. It's kind of what I'm like to do. I'm aiming towards, but I'm interested in how people got their start. I'm interested in how things go like this, you know. And I've got another book here about Michael Turner. Okay, let me put Billy's book over here. Okay. All right. I gotta put it back. I got a stack of books here. I've got reference books. I've got drawing books, but I also have. It's just so untidy, isn't it? With these paper bags. I always take the paper bags out. They always say, "You want a paper bag?" I'm like, yeah. But you know, Michael Turner passed away. He had cancer, but you know, he got his big break. You know, he was at DC, and he was with Mark Silvestri for a while at Mad Cow. But you know, here are his sketches before he broke into the industry. Before he, you know, these are his samples for Top Cow, right here. Like, so, with practice, and look, he could do like environmental stuff really great actually. But with practice, you can improve your art. And so I keep posting some of my videos of like my time lapse videos from Procreate because I'm working exclusively on an iPad. But you know, he went from what I just showed you to this. This is his art. Look at that. Look, this is the Fantastic Four right here. He drew that. There's some cool stuff from like his private collection that didn't go to print. Like, okay, these are, you know, it's from Wizard, Soulfire, his comic that he made. You know, he was known for drawing the female form. That was what brought him to kind of fame and prominence. He did a lot of crossover with Witchblade and Tomb Raider, Lara Croft. You know, look, here's this DC work right here. So he could do it. He was an exceptional artist. So, you know, we'll talk more about this in the future. I picked this up. I actually ordered it on eBay, and it was still in the plastic wrap. It was in the shrink wrap. I had to take it out because it's like, well, I'm gonna read the book. Like, I need to read this. I want to see. I love learning about people's stories, you know, and where they, you know, developed and came to be. So, anyway, that was a long comics haul, but I wanted to share those two books with you. Again, Ultimate Spider-Man. I don't know if I'm gonna pick up issue number 4. The Valiants, Doctor Strange number 15, tying with Blood Hunt number 1, Indragon Universe, Darth Vader 46, Red Sonja number 2, Empire of the Damned, Red Sonja Empire of the Damned number 2, Geiger number 2, and then obviously I got Spider-Man Shadow of the Green Goblin 1 and 2. And then we have Xenoscope Horror and Fantasy Illustrated. It's kind of like the Creature from the Black Lagoon, and I got Return of the Creature from the Black Lagoon. So there's a lot of like influences that kind of go around. Jango Fett number 1, Jango Fett number 2, X-Men 97 number 2, Jean Grey variant cover, and Crocodile Black number 1. So that's it for this comics haul. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll catch you right here next time at Acadian Comics. Bye for now.